We're back. Ah, Now we come to the final chapter. We first find out that Bill had a father figure by the name of Esteban Vajerio, played by Michael Parks. Michael Parks has done a lot of Tarantino films and some Robert Rodriguez films as well, and he always seems to play the sheriff that he played in Kill Bill had also played in other movies like From Dusk Till Dawn, Planet Terror, some pretty good films. Seems to be a bit of a recurring character, but in this one he doesn't play the sheriff in this particular installment of the second half of Kill Bill. He plays a retired pimp who also happened to be the father figure to Bill, who also happened to basically tell Beatrix where Bill was. And the scene is good, but it's kind of short, and you kind of wonder why they went with it if they weren't gonna, draw too much on the character. But I don't know. It's, I suppose, neither here nor there. So basically now, uh, she didn't kill Elle. Bud is dead, and now she's going to find Bill. She finds Bill at his villa, and of course, she also finds her daughter. Her daughter is now 4 years old. By the way, the bride was in a coma for about 4 years, 4.5 technically, due to the gunshot wound to the head that Bill administered. She finds Bill, she finds her daughter, and she she's reunited with her daughter. She ends up spending some time with the two of them, and she was going to kill Bill right then and there, except for the fact that she walked in with a gun, but she obviously didn't really want to do it in front of her daughter, who she just literally saw. Because I don't know if she knew that Bibi, her daughter, was still alive or not. They don't really say that. I'm assuming she didn't know because she was pretty surprised. So she reunites with her daughter, and the three of them are like a family unit for a brief moment, pretty much a brief hour or so in the if we're gonna go movie time, like storyline wise. She ends up taking Bibi to the bedroom, and they end up watching Shogun Assassin together, which I thought was, in light of the fact that she's 4 years old, I kind of thought that was a nice, uh, humorous plug on the part of Tarantino to throw that film in. The lone wolf and cub type of thing. So anyway, Bibi falls asleep. The bride goes back downstairs to talk to Bill, and basically they were gonna, cross swords. Bill pretty much tricks her into thinking that that's gonna happen, and then shoots her with a dart that has truth serum in it. And he basically he tells there's a really good piece of dialogue where he talks about Superman and how Superman figures Clark Kent is the embodiment of all people in terms of mortals, and how they're weak, meek, and unsure of themselves. It's basically his indictment on humanity, which also made me wonder uh, that if David Carradine were still alive today, and if they had made another like Kill Bill movie, how would Bill have felt about the recent wave of all these superhero movies that are all over the place? You've got Iron Man, the Avengers, Suicide Squad, the Batman movies, the Superman movies. There's so many to choose from. Anyway, so there's a good dialogue on that right there, and of course Tarantino is known for dialogue in his films, pretty much. So then he finally asks Beatrix. He says, did you really think that this wedding that you were going to get married to this guy who would run a record store, do you really think it would work? And she says, no, but at least I would have had my child, and you know, and I wanted to give her a clean slate and to make sure she didn't have this lifestyle where, she'd be vulnerable to an assassin, basically. And he basically says, yeah, but since you're basically wearing a costume, your alter ego is you. You're a killer, that sort of thing. And like I said, it was a good piece of dialogue back and forth. But finally, she basically she then tells the story of why she left him, and we get the last flashback being the part where she finds out she's pregnant. She's sent to kill someone. The same someone has sent an assassin of her own into the hotel that she's staying at, and nearly kills her then. And doesn't, because she convinces the assassin to just walk away because, she's pregnant with his child. So, from there on, of course, Bill basically says, well, I thought you were dead for 3 months. I mourned your death. Oh, and by the way, you broke my heart. And since I'm an old bastard, I basically kind of overreacted, which, which of course, she's going to be a little pissed off at, and justifiably so. But I kind of liked how they went back and forth with that one. And speaking of back and forth, we then get the final battle. And it's at that point where I will say, watch the speech between Bill and Beatrix where he tells the story of Pai Mei, and I'll just let it go at that. Needless to say, well, I might as well say it anyway. She does kill Bill, of course. She gets her daughter back, and at the very end, the daughter, it kind of surprised me that the daughter didn't seem that shook up about the fact that, her father, her biological father, I'm certain for all practical purposes, pretty much died at the hands of the mother. But I don't know what to, that's something for the writers, or Tarantino himself, to answer upon, I guess. So, basically, it was, at the very end, the last title card is the Tigress. The Lioness is reunited with her cub, and all is well in the jungle again, and that's how it basically ends with that story. And soundtrack-wise, I will say upon that, it's a good soundtrack. Robert Rodriguez gets to do the music in this one, as does the RZA. They both pretty much collaborate on that one together, whereas Volume 1, it was just RZA pretty much doing the music there. And a lot of good different samples of different movies, music-wise, is thrown in. Very good film. Is it a spaghetti western? Probably closer to a spaghetti western, but a lot of kung fu in it too. So, all in all, it was a decent film, and since that's pretty much it for that being the top 10 list, in at number 1, Kill Bill Volume 1. And if you like this list, feel free to drop a like or hit the subscribe button. Anyway, that's about it for tonight's edition of the Grindhouse. Until next time, farewell.